this will be the day that he will change all of that if it goes his way. Those last few seconds of preparation going, your head's spinning, is it, or is it all calm?
I think you need to be mentally strong, you need to stay calm, composed, ready and focused for your tactic and your job on the tatami of what you need to do against your opponent.
And execute the game plan.
Definitely.
Taglian in the red colours from the United States. 3 times he's been a continental champion under 21 level. Been a continental bronze medalist as a senior. Just 21 years of age. One of those examples of coming up from the junior ranks, isn't it, Niamh?
Yeah, definitely, and it's obvious that he's had success in the under 21 category, so now he's here, he's competing in the senior level, he's in a bronze match here at the Premier League, so it won't be long before I think he's going to be medaling in the final at the Pan American Championships.
There's an opening score and it's going his way. Taglian takes a Yuko. And because it was unopposed and no video review to challenge it, he gets the Senchu as well. What are your thoughts about that Senchu? Do you think it's a good thing?
Yeah, I think it encourages the opponent who's losing in order to fight before it means then you now need 2 more points in order if the Senchu is still valid at the end of the match. And obviously it's something that you can lose at the end of the match, so I think it encourages both fighters to keep scoring, keep throwing, and it keeps the match exciting as well.
And keep pressure.
Yeah, definitely. If you're fighting for that Senchu as the first point, okay, it can be cagey at the start, but as soon as somebody scores, then the gloves are off, everything comes out, and the skills of each fighter come to life.
So the pressure from Yoshimura has forced Taglian into the Jogai. He'll get a warning for that.
And Yoshimura's coming back from the Asian Championships as a bronze medalist, and Taglian as well from the Pan Americans just last week, so they've came maybe straight from their Continental Championships, so there's a lot of travel involved, and it's so important about recovering and being able to come back, and they've obviously been able to perform as they're here in a medal match at such another elite level event.
And they both, as you say, come back with success in their bag.
Yep. This as well where the warnings come into play, so they never had the passivity. There was a score. Lovely, lovely.
That was a sensational kick from Taglian to take another 3 points.
Yeah, excellent mawash. The Japanese Yoshimura put the pressure on. He opened the distance slightly, and when Yoshimura came to cut the distance, he lifted the leg and caught with the mawash in the face.
The kicking ability of athletes nowadays is just brilliant, because they must spend hours and hours of stretching and training. Is this something that you do yourself?
Yeah, I think flexibility has to be a part of your routine. Of course, some people genetically have maybe more flexible hips or hamstrings, etc. But you can see here, especially with the athletes now at the heavyweights as well, they've almost got 4 arms. Their punches are as good as the legs, so
yeah, that's right.
you need to be so aware that without that flexibility and being able to have that kicking ability, you can be at a disadvantage when you're coming to such an elite level event. And here Sagalin was 2-0 up and then managed to get that Ippon. It's so key to be in control of the match, being able to score with a leg for Rosari or for an Ippon.
Mm-hmm. That was a spinning kick attempt from Yoshimura. Might get it off, but there's a video review request for that takedown from Yoshimura. Now, as he's gone to the mat, did the punch?
So the American's on the floor, so the back's on the floor, so it can be an Ippon score if Yoshimura can make contact, but I think he's slightly just
Too
short.
far away?
Slightly just short for the punch.
But as it stands now, any part of the body that's on the floor, it's an Ippon score.
Yep.
Great opportunity to go for high scores nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, it encourages the athletes, especially when they're kicking, to stay on their feet. Before, a lot of people were just kicking and falling on the floor, but now if your opponent hits you, when you're...
it's a 3-point.
Yeah, it's a 3-point that you can lose.
Well, that was a big win, wasn't it?
Very confident performance from the American. He controlled the match well, he went up early and he scored a kick that ultimately won the match for him.
And he looked over at his coach with a glee and smile.
Yeah, Cameron's one of the big personalities in karate. Once when he was an athlete, now he's helping the younger athletes of America produce these amazing results. So yeah, he's definitely in good hands.
Doing a great job. And here he is, Cameron Madani, who I have to say has been a guest commentator for WKF with me, and his mother is one of the chief referees. She's the referee commission. She's an Olympic referee, Fariba Madani.
Yeah, definitely a karate family. It's nice to see
and their father and his father, Cyrus Madani, is also a WKF referee.
Yeah, it's nice to keep a sport in the family, and they can all share the moments together and come to competitions and be able to spend time together doing what they love.
Second of the bronze medal bouts, male plus 84 kilogram between France and Serbia. Mia Jurui, 11 Yuko, 2 Wasari, 1 Ippon. Defeated by the grand winner for the second time, Tariq Mahmoud of Egypt. Idore Sanovic, Premier Leagues this season. Daoui in Paris, Hangzhou and Cairo, but didn't take any medals on any of those events. And Sanovic in Hangzhou and Cairo, and no medals there. That's going to change for one of them. But which one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting match. They're similar height, similar physique, so it'll depend on, again, with this century advantage, who takes the first score and what happens throughout the rest of the match.
That quiet start, the customary quiet start that we've talked about.
Yeah, they're just testing the distance, testing the opponent, trying to find a way in to take the first score, and it's always edgy in a medal match. There's so much to lose, but also so much to win. So this first score is really, really important here for both athletes.
And there's the first point, and it's going to Tasanovic. The referee Ma Chunting from the People's Republic of China, where the World Games will be held later this year in Chengdu. Recently, the Karate1 Premier League in Hangzhou. China is becoming a very keen nation to organise karate competition now, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. And with Gong Li, she was world champion in Budapest in female minus 61, so they've definitely got a few athletes who are amongst the best in their category. So yeah, I think it'll be a great event in China.
Gong Li, of course, one of the Olympians.
Yes.
In Tokyo 2020. She was bronze medalist.
Yes, she was.
So he went down to the mat. I don't know if he twisted his knee. He seemed to have been in some pain. It's one of these things that, as an athlete, it's always frustrating when you get an injury of whatever nature.
Yeah, but during the match, you've got so much adrenaline that hopefully he'll be able to continue. He does look to be in some discomfort though, but hopefully it's nothing too serious, and he can stand up and continue.
So as a physiotherapist, you'd be able to get over there and help him out, I guess, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it would just be a case of giving them some cold spray, a wee bit of ice, and getting them back on the mat. I think you're not going to feel a lot of pain maybe the initial hit, but it's not until they come off, they cool down, and maybe the next day when they wake up they might have a bit of pain. But during the match, this adrenaline, it takes over, so you just need to focus on...
Best tonic, is it?
Yeah, definitely.
When you're on the mat as a competitor, as opposed to a physiotherapist working on the sides, how are you when you have these moments? You've got to try and keep your focus, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely, and it's something that can definitely affect your mentality, your mindset, especially if it's an injury that you've had before. I've got sometimes problems with my ankles, so you can be wary of it when you're fighting. If something happens where you get a knock or a hit towards it, it's definitely important that you stay focused and don't let it affect your performance for the rest of the match.
Well, Tasanovic has been given a warning for an excessive contact. Oh, that kick was very quick, wasn't it?
Fabulous.
So he went in for the punch, but the kick came up. As you said, it's like using legs as though they're arms.
Yep.
So quick. Kick into the body again from Tasanovic. It's going to be another 2 points. There's an 8-point differential. The match is stopped. Still quite a way to go. Just over a minute left. So So he still has the opportunity to score.
Yeah, anything can change in senior level with the ability of the legs of both athletes. It can easily change in a few seconds.
Front hand from Krasanovic. He knew Zawi was going to come forward. They put in that effective punch. There's a video review requested from the coach of Zawi. So it's from Red we're looking. What do you think?
It's definitely at the same time. The Serbians moved as he's seen the distance and the French starting the technique. But again, it's whether the referee and the panel agrees whether he's met all the criteria in order for it to be a equal score.
But they definitely punched pretty much at the same time. It could very well be a score, and it is indeed. Good call from the coach. And a well-deserved point from Zawi. Goes in for a kick to the body. Another video review requested. Was the kick long enough? The kick round the back and a kick to the head. Red round the back and blue with the high kick, but did it meet the criteria? Did it meet the distance? Not so sure on this occasion. Putting in the kick round the back and believing it should have been a score given. Another warning for Zawi. Still 7 points to 1. Krasanovic pretty much in control all the way through that bout, wasn't he, Niamh?
Yeah, definitely. In the last 15, he managed perfectly. Ended up in the corner, quite close to the Tosha Bariku in the last 15, but he managed to turn his opponent, dominate the centre and control his way back in order to take the win at the end of the match. Fabulous kick.
Very fast. Gold medal match going to be between Italy and Egypt. Italy represented here with Matteo Avancini. second in Cairo in the Karate1 Premier League. He did compete in Paris and Hangzhou, but he didn't champion. But he's up against Egypt's Tarek Mahmoud, who is confirmed as the grand winner for the second consecutive year. And he has the gold on his shoulders to prove it. Fourteen Yukos he scored, 2 Wazari. He hasn't scored Ippon yet, but he has the ability to do that. So do you study the male categories as well as the female categories in plus 84, plus 68?
Yeah, they're so exciting to watch. They're so strong, they're so athletic, and their speed is still unmatched. Obviously not as fast as the lighter weights, minus 60, 67, but the athletic ability of them is unbelievable, and the strength they demonstrate on the tatami is fascinating.
And from a technical point of view, do you kind of look and learn, try to adapt some of the techniques that they use?
Yeah, definitely. I think trying to focus on how they create so much power from the floor for the initial movement so key. And for plus 60 as well, speed is such a good attribute to have. I focus on moving well and being fast on the tatami, so being able to watch athletes such as Taha and Matteo, it's a great way to learn for being a heavyweight fighter myself in the female category.
I'm not sure I could agree that plus 68 kilo is heavyweight, but
yeah,
I understand what you mean.
Yes.
But athletes at the top of the game, whichever the weight category they're in, they are so honed to perfection, aren't they? The ability, the speed, and the way that they can move around the tatami. But what really is impressive is decision making.
Yeah, and it's something I think as well with reaction. It's something you can definitely train, but until you put yourself in that situation where somebody's attacking you or you have to counter it at a precise moment, it's instinct, and you need to make sure you're training all these different aspects in your karate and also out with in your physical preparation to be able to do it. You want your body to react to what happens. If you're trying to think and trying to plan too much, they'll punch you before you have a chance to react.
Exactly. And obviously with your training to become a physiotherapist, your belief is solid regarding sports science.
Yeah, definitely. In the way the body moves, the anatomy and the training, you can definitely train specific movements and ways for moving around the tatami and making yourself explosive in the front and side movements.
And from a psychologist's point of view, do you have a sports psychologist and to help you develop? Do you have the opportunity within your arrangements at the moment?
Yeah, so I've been lucky enough. I've got a sports psychologist. I used to struggle a lot with my mental side of the preparation and how to prepare mentally before the fight, because especially when you get to this level physically, everybody's fast, everyone's strong, everyone's ready to compete and perform to their best, but that mental edge is maybe sometimes only the difference that's needed to break through the group, to make a medal or to ultimately win the tournament. So it's the small margins at this level that you need to look for, and a sports psychologist can definitely be one of them.
Now that video review was successful for Avancini, so he has the 1 point advantage and he also has the century to go with it. But there's a 3-point score that's just been awarded to the grand winner, Mahmoud,
And that's his first ippon of the tournament, we were saying before.
It is. Yeah.
What a great way and what a great time to score it in the final.
Well, being sportsmanlike, Mahmoud suggesting that his opponent may have an injury. Avancini replies by scoring a point. But there is certainly an injury over the right eye of Avancini.
Yeah, I think Taha was trying to signal to the referee that there was blood for his opponent. It's not nice if you see your opponent bleeding.
No, that's not what you want at all.
Yeah, and karate's obviously values one of is respect for your opponent, respect for the referee. So he was trying to signal there so he could get medical treatment in order to make sure to stop the bleed.
And as a sport, karate is a very very sportsmanlike event, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Karate players are very respectful for the safety of their opponents.
Yeah, and I think no athlete comes to any competition and with the intention of trying to injure their opponent. It's not of course it's aggressive, but it's controlled aggression, and every athlete wants to win, but they want to win fairly. They're not trying to hurt or cause any damage to their opponent. But again, we're fighting with heavyweight males, so I'm sure they're very strong and they hit hard. So if they go at the same time or there's contact, then it's possible there could be some blood or a cut.
Yeah. Oh, wow, look at that, little kitten. Beautiful. Oh, I wonder if she has cat-like reactions. That little kitten was beautiful. We're just waiting for the match to get back underway. Avancini coming out. Some of the Japanese team there just saying hi.
They're always so smiley, the Japanese team, when you see them in the crowd, always smiling, always waving.
Karate, the referee calls, separate the athletes. Double punches, Avancini going in with a high punch. And this is an important one because it levels the score 3-3. Now, even though Mahmoud was an ippon score, the senchu that is held by Avancini takes preference.
Yeah, but it's important to note Taha's an ippon, so if Avancini does lose the senchu at the end of the match, then it changes things slightly. So it's important for Avancini to keep that in mind, and when it comes to the end of the match in the last 15, that he doesn't give away his senchu too easily.
So there's a lot to remember as athletes and coaches, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely, and you're trying to do this all at the same time. That's why you're sometimes looking for guidance from the coach for them to give you reminders, and now it's a perfect opportunity. There's Yami, there's a video review, so Avancini can try to gather his thoughts and think what he's going to do for the last 17 seconds of the bout.
So we're looking at a video review for blue. I just remind people that viewers that the video review referee doesn't know what's being requested, so they look back over the last 6 seconds of the bout to see if they can detect whether there was a score from the colour of the video review coach, in this case blue. There's an attempted kick from Mahmoud. Did he do anything after they came out of the clinch? Doesn't seem to be anything there.
I think he's thrown a front leg after the initial test for the leg. He's thrown a front leg towards Jodan. Whether it's made contact or not, I'm not sure with the angle that we're seeing it on the camera, but there it seems as though
there's a kick.
He's thrown.
He's tried to put a kick in, maybe see better from this angle. Not sure that that is clear. And the referee has to be satisfied that it meets all 6 criteria. They're obviously not satisfied here. Into the last 15 seconds now. Avancini wants to hold on to that Senchu really important. Mamu will put him under pressure either to score a point or force an error. Video review from Avancini's coach. So we're looking at a video review for red. Looking at which of the screens might show the best image. Top right shows the red pad. Does it seem to be going past there, do you feel, Niamh?
Yeah, I think so. I think the distance is just slightly too close after they've came out of the clinch, and both athletes have thrown a backhand punch to the head, but I think the target from Avancini is just slightly too far to the right.
And the referee has rejected it from the video review. But he managed to hold on to that Senchu, and that was the difference. And what a great win, defeating the former and new grand winner in the final for the gold medal.
Yeah, he did well to keep composed. He was leading in the match and then lost a nip on score, and then was able to bring it back and keep a hold of his Senchu advantage.
And his coach, Talarico, former world champion, great fighter, many European titles.